All right. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're a little. We was running a little bit late, but we here regardless. We still here. I'm in my office. That has not been done yet. I'm still waiting to get my office. It's a look I want for my office. And I'm the type of person I'm patient until I get my office done. I like to wait. I'll wait it out because I don't want to make the wrong mistakes. I'm gonna panel my office out. So my new home and everything, and you know, it is what it is. When you got 4 children, 2 wives, you know, things like that, there are hiccups. There are hiccups in anything. Speaking of my daughters just came in. Daddy doing the cash right now, baby. Daddy doing the cash. Tell mama to give me some coffee and some water. After you some coffee and water, lovely wives of mine. I can lose some coffee and water, lovely wives of mine. All right. We're going to touch on a few things. I had to get this off. You know, my wife was saying, you know, maybe you should do it tomorrow. We was going and it's a lot of stuff, man, you know. But I said I want to do this today, man, because I've been going a little too long. I like to get things and say what I'm doing. Coffee and water, please. And so I'm going to be discussing I'm going to be discussing a bunch of things tonight. All right? I'm going to be discussing a bunch of things. This High and Mighty Talks with me, the intellectual Newman Menkari. Before anything goes, in the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. So we up, and we going up. I was wearing this because I'm being my own model today for my my Underlord, my Underlord trucker hats. These are the Underlord trucker hats. All right. So I wanted to be my own model today. And the U73 Underlord trucker hats. This is the camo, the beige camo one. We're going to be doing a bunch of these. We're going to have a link there. I always talk about the links, but, you know, staffing and things like that. I'm not making no excuses, but, you know, these are the things that go. Look on the back. We got the Underlord sign on the back, Underlord on the back. We like the trucker hats over there. I'm not too much of a fan of the baseball, but we do them in baseball too. So it is what it is. All right. So the major topic is examining the mental illness of racist white people. If you look in in the description, you see the image I have up there. In there is a gentleman, and I'm being loose with that term, a gentleman by the name of Al Jolson. Right? He apparently, he was before our time, of course. He's dead now. He was one of the first major stars at Warner Brothers Pictures. This is in the early 20th century where the motion picture industry was just getting started. All right? Al Jolson, he made his debut in a film called The Jazz Singer. Right? Now, keep in mind, The Jazz Singer was supposed to be a take on, a Caucasian Jew, Zionist, portraying a so-called black man in blackface. A so-called black man in blackface. Right? A Negro, whatever you want to call it. The premise of the movie, this piece of trash was made in 1927. I'm going to call it a piece of trash because that's what it was. Because I don't understand what was so good about that. But it also speaks to the exploitation of our people by certain other groups of people who control the music industry, that control the motion picture industry, where they seem fit to call themselves making fun of our people, right? Yet, this movie was a box office smash for Warner Brothers, one of their first biggest hits, right? And Warner Brothers are Caucasian Jews, Zionists, right? just like all the other heads of the motion picture industry at that time, and still they in charge of that today. They're the ones behind all the derogatory and negative stereotypical images you see of so-called quote-unquote black people. Remember, at that time, our people wasn't even embracing the whole black thing. Our people were referring to themselves as copper tone, bronze. We referred to ourselves that way. We didn't call ourselves black people, all right? That was a terminology that came from white people, right? Caucasians, I should say, right? Racist Caucasians in the government, right? Who were attempting to block us out as a people, who were attempting to, denigrate us. The goal was to denigrate us as a people, to disrespect us as a people. That was the goal. To make the American indigenous people, the real American Indians, look like fools, right? Now, if we would have did the same thing to the Caucasian Zionist Jews, if we would have made fun of them and put yarmulkes on our head, we would have been all kinds of anti-Semitic. Yet nobody says anything. It always works one way. You could disrespect so-called black people, and nobody says anything about it. The minute you disrespect other groups of people, then it's a problem. Be it the Asians, Caucasians, Jews, whatever, the so-called Hindus, right? It's always a problem. But everybody can disrespect us. I was playing the thing on, I put it on my page on Facebook where I guess it was LeBron James or some of the NBA. They went over there to China to play against the Asian basketball team. And you had Asians outside the arena screaming the word nigga, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, nigga go home, calling them nigga. It sounded real stupid the way they were saying it. It was like they was trying to mimic these racist white people who have mental illness, who have a problem for some reason with our people when we don't even really put energy into them like that. But nobody said anything about that. Nobody said, hey, y'all saying stop Asian hate, but we sitting over here watching these Asians calling black people niggas. Black people who just came or didn't do anything to them, didn't harm them, didn't do anything, just came to play a game that they're going to go and watch, a game that's going to make them money. And the so-called black players, they should have turned around and got on the bus and left. That should have never been allowed to happen. But it speaks to the spineless mindset, spineless, cowardly behavior of a lot of these black basketball players who will take all kinds of verbal abuse and sometimes even physical abuse. Because even at these NBA games, you have these drunk Caucasians, these white boys who sit up here calling the players niggas and throwing stuff at them. And these people are never usually ever escorted from the game. The so-called black players are just supposed to take the abuse. They're supposed to take the verbal abuse, right? Be disrespected. You see, and plenty of times some of the players got into it with these fans who were disrespecting them. They come here and they're drunk and they come there to disrespect the players because obviously there's a jealousy there, there's an envy there, looking at these men, these real titans, these titans of the game who are running up and down the court, who are athletically, who are gifted athletically. And you got a lot of people who are jealous of that. You got ignorant people who are jealous of that, right? People who don't have the same agility, the same speed, the same strength, the talent to play that game, because to play these games requires a great deal of athleticism. And so-called black people, the American indigenous people, we have that. We have that in spades. We are very much a very athletic people in boxing, the field of sports and entertainment. And a lot of people are jealous of that. And obviously those Asians who stood outside and were calling these black men who came there to basically entertain them, and they probably beat the brakes off the Asians. They came here to entertain them. They're sitting up here denigrating and calling them all kinds of niggas, right? Disrespecting them. Now, me, I don't have a problem with the word nigga because I know where the word comes from. It was originally pronounced niggar, from the word niggardly, right? Which they don't want to say because, again, that's a whole other thing of linking us in as the American Indians, because the American Indians, the real American Indians, not the Native Americans, the real American Indians, us, the bronze copper colored people, we were referred to as niggars, from the word niggardly, which is an English word for people who are stingy, who are tight with money. And you can't be stingy or tight with money if you don't have money. Because when, like I said, you know the story, when they came here, our people had all the resources. We had all the resources when they came in. Come on. You're not on camera. Come on. Come on. My lovely wife. Come on. You're not on camera. Thank you. She's like, you. Water too, please. So we were regarded as those who had everything because we are indigenous to the land. Of course, we were using the resources we had, the beautiful first plantations here. There were plantation homes here in America before the Caucasians got here, before them. You know, they like you to believe that the real indigenous Indians, the American Indians, were living in teepees and huts. No, that was your Native Americans who came in who started being filmed or recorded in the 1800s. But going back to the 1700s and back, people had real homes and plantations that they built. And how you know that is because our people, basically a lot of those plantations were homes that were taken from our people. You see, and a lot of our people had indentured servants and slaves here in America, right? We were the first people here as the American Indians. And, you know, if you look at the image of, thank you. If you look at the image of the blackface and the red lips and things like that on the minstrel show, clowns, that comes from the statues that early American Indians who were dark skinned, they would portray them as dark skinned with red lips, and they would have the feathered head crowns. That's really where all of those images came from. Even certain negative and derogatory words that were given to our people, like jigaboo, right? Which really comes from the word chickaboo. Or porch monkey, which comes from a tribe in Virginia called the Pamunkey. You know, that was Caucasians who couldn't really say Pamunkey, so they would call us porch monkeys. You know, I asked yourself where these words come from. They come from the word Pamunkey, which was the Pamunkey Indian tribes, which were bronze, so-called black tribes, which were a bunch of so-called black tribes all around. They would denigrate these Caucasians, would denigrate the American Indians, and say all kind of negative and degenerate things so our people disrespect our people. You see, so you have to know the history of where all that stuff come from, jigaboos. Because again, these words didn't just come from anywhere. They came from real legitimate names that our people had as the American Indians. Just like the image of the black face with the red lips. That's the image of the face that they showed the American Indians. Go back and look. I put it on my page on Facebook. But anyway, going back to Al Jolson and blackface for Warner Brothers, the jazz singer. Now, keep in mind, the jazz singer, right? That was, again, our people created jazz music in the early century, which jazz came after ragtime. It was blues, and then there was ragtime, and then there was jazz, right? You still got you got Caucasians sometime, like right in New Orleans, they play ragtime music. Now, you would never know that ragtime originally came from our people. There's a movie out in the 80s with Howard Rollins in it called Ragtime. All right. because it showed you that ragtime came from our people, but you would never know that when you see these Caucasians, you know, doing the playing ragtime music in New Orleans. You would think that's Caucasian music. They hide the fact that music came from our people. Like they trying to take hip hop away from our people and claim it's 50-50 Latino and whatever nonsense they want to make up. Right? And, you know, because jazz was becoming a popular music that we created, of course, the Warner Brothers, they decided to capitalize on it and degrade us in the process. They decided to capitalize on and degrade us in the process. You see? But you have to ask yourself, you know, because, you know, a lot of so-called black people were getting offended by that. Not, you know, they were getting offended by the portrayal of our people who, again, we didn't refer to ourselves as black people. They were offended by calling us, our people were offended by Caucasians referring to us as black people. Prior to that, we were referred to as colored, you know, Negro, whatever. You see, there was no black people, yet they were trying to push that whole black thing across to our people to create a status-based form of citizenship here. Whereas your white people, which started out as your Caucasians originally, your white people were the immigrants who came over from Europe, who basically stole the land from our people, the American Indians, the real American Indians, not these fake Native Americans, the real American Indians, stole the land from our people, and the government was behind the push to take our people off the land because the Trail of Tears and the whole pushing of our people off the land, they was pushing bronze people, copper-colored indigenous people off the land, our people. Right? And they were making mockery of our people as they were stealing from us. That's the foundation of this country called the United States. So they were making movies like Birth of a Nation, right? Which they was doing the blackface. Again, they had Caucasian actors, white boys, putting on black shoe polish on their face, right? And trying to portray us as rapists, portray the American indigenous people as rapists, men as rapists and criminals and thieves. You know all the stuff they did? All the stuff they did, they raped our women, stole our land, and then turned around and tried to say that's how we were in blackface. Because they were trying to push across an idea in the minds of not just our people, but in the minds of the world of an image of us, an image that wasn't even real. They were trying to program us into calling ourselves black people early. They were trying to program us into accepting ourselves as something we were not. We don't look like that. We don't look like that. We don't look like what they were trying to portray. That looks like someone who's insane. And, you know, our people got offended by it. But what we should have been doing more than being offended by it is we should have been looking at these people, these racist Caucasians, as mentally ill, because they are mentally ill. You got to be mentally ill to smear black shoe polish on your face and then have white around your lips and think that's funny. I don't even see where that's funny. I'm not offended. I'm like, well, that's something a person who's mentally ill does. You should have looked at white people, or should I say racist white people, from that point on as mentally ill. Anybody that thought that was funny, you should have looked at them as mentally ill. Even the stereotypical Uncle Tom, Uncle, you know, Aunt Jemima, things that they find to be funny is not funny at all. It's just dumb. It's not even, like I said, I'm not offended by it. Because even to this day, and I speak on this because even to this day, in 2024, our people are still offended by those images. Why are we offended by images that don't look like us? Why do you let people who are mentally ill, obviously, who would do something dumb like that? Because if we smeared white makeup on our face and put dog fur on top of our heads, if we did that, we'd be looked at like we crazy. If we did that, if we smeared white makeup on our face and put dog hair on our head, like they here. They look at us like we crazy. Remember when Brand Nubian did, because you never see a lot of people do no white minstrel shows and whatnot. And then I think somebody wanted to do that, and they was really, really offended by that, right? But we wasn't supposed to be offended. See, it always cuts two ways. When it come to us, why y'all can't take a joke? But when it come to them, they obviously can't take a joke because we make fun of them, and we got a lot to make fun of with them. We got a lot to make fun of white people with, racist ones anyway. We got a lot of things to make fun of them with. But we don't do it because they're the ones who are real sensitive to things like that. They're sensitive to things that are supposed to be funny. Like I said, we shouldn't get offended or bent out of shape over people who are mentally ill. And you see a whole lot of these racist Caucasians, even the ones in higher office, they go with their background, they was doing blackface and all this other stuff, right? They was doing all of that. And that's supposed to be funny, but I'm like, at the same time, something, like I said, were you trying to make fun of us or were you trying to worship us? You know what I'm saying? In some kind of way. You know how people really want to, be you, but they can't, because they're trying to stay in a certain, mindset when it comes to being so-called the dominant people in society. They're trying to stay, they can't say they want to mimic the people who are being cast as the bottom of the barrel, the low-life people. So what they have to do, they have to make some over-the-top, extreme, racist, so-called racist trope about our people and start calling them black people. But again, we never referred to ourselves as black people. They did that. But unfortunately, now our people refer to themselves as black people because our people have been programmed to call themselves black people. We've been programmed into calling ourselves something that we're not. That's deep. We let racist, mentally ill white people try to dictate who we are. And it still works to this day. Y'all still getting bent out of shape over blackface instead of looking at these people as what they are. What should have been said is the insanity of these racist Caucasians. That's what our people should, because we owned newspapers back then. Look at the insanity of these racist Caucasian white people who are putting out these images of us. They're trying to make it look, that don't even look like us. You see? So you should look at the racist Caucasians as what they are, mentally ill. Mentally ill, mentally unstable, emotionally unstable, and treat them as what they are, sick people. Sick people who say things and do things that are not even funny. Just dumb. Not funny. And I say it's not funny because it's offensive to me. I say it's not funny because even Howard Stern did that. And Sarah Silverman do that. See, that's obviously a thing with, these Caucasian Zionists. It's obviously a thing, the racist ones. Anyway, I don't want to say all. I don't want to include all. I'm just speaking about the racist ones, like Howard Stern, Sarah Silverman. That's obviously something that they find to be funny, which is dumb. You always gonna have, they always blacken up their face and did all that black nonsense, that blackface nonsense. Judy Garland, all of them did that because they were trying to degrade our people. But then Judy Garland, the lady who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in the 30s, or whatever that movie came out in the 30s, she started marching on these civil rights things and all this other stuff. But nobody said anything about her doing the blackface. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. It's unfortunate that a lot of people that look like us, I'm not going to call them our people, because if you're not in 2024, to me, if you're not saying that our people are the American Indians, speaking the truth that our people are the American Indians, if you're not speaking truth that our people are the bronze, copper-colored American indigenous people that are spoken of, right, and the description of what an American is, if you're not saying that, then you're really not our people. We got to look at you as suspect. If you still calling our people black in 2024, I said this, we can't trust these people. If you calling our people FBAs ADOS and pro-black and black first and all this other nonsense, we can't really trust you. You're hiding our heritage. You're hiding our American Indian heritage. Somebody called Tariq Nasheed one time, and they were asking him on his thing. I was listening because, you know, again, I'm not no shots fired at Tariq Nasheed, but I got to speak out because, you know, he's one of the people that pushed the whole black thing. Umar Johnson, all these people, right? They push this whole black thing still are our people. We supposed to be embracing our true heritage, our true culture, which is American Indian. We American Indians. We supposed to be embracing our true heritage, our true culture as American Indians. Not as no black people, not as no foundational black people, because that's nothing. This is why no one has any respect for us, because we don't even have enough respect to claim our own culture, our own heritage, our own roots as American Indians. We still sitting up here talking and then when some of y'all do claim, y'all start telling me we Afro indigenous. No, cut out all the Afro everything. Nobody is Afro anything. There's no Afro because that go back to the whole African thing. We're not linked to Africa. Somebody asked Tariq Nasheed on his latest live, he said, so do you have Indian in your family? And he paused for a minute. He was like, I have some Indian in my family. Like he was like he didn't want to say it. He don't want to acknowledge our people as the real American Indians, like your Jason Blacks and all them. They don't want to acknowledge our people as the real American Indians because obviously they part of an agenda to keep our people in the state of darkness. I'm going to just say it like that, ethic, man. They obviously are part of an agenda to keep our people in darkness, mental darkness, obviously. You guys got to say it like that. You see, it is what it is. You got a lot of that, and that's what a lot of these pro-black boulets was doing. That go right back to the Black Panthers. You know, Damone Wilson, shout out to Damone Wilson who played Lamont Sanford on Sanford and Son. That's a deep brother right there. Damone Wilson who played Lamont Sanford on Sanford and Son. I was surprised he knew but you know, he go back to that time. He said these groups like the Black Panthers, all these pro-black Pan-African groups was founded and they was founded by the Rockefeller Foundation to push this black thing to our people. They were trying to get our people to buy into the whole black thing since forever. Because see, prior to these educated Negroes, these boulets who ended up starting the Black Panther Party, people like Huey P. Newton and Stokely Carmichael, these all paid, these all paid, turncoats and traitors to our people who were raised up to push this whole black Pan-African thing at the behest of their European controllers. At the behest of their white European controllers, they were pushing this whole thing. These people are boule. Whenever you see all that red, black, and green, that Pan-African stuff, that's boule, man. That's these Negroes, right, that go back to people like your Prince Hall, who were your first so-called black Masons here in this country, who established the lodge, the Prince Hall Lodge, who was pushing this African thing back then. You see, as long as our people was identifying as black and African, they could pretty much write their own ticket under these Caucasians, the Europeans for the most part. They will back anything that pushes us going against who we really are as a people, who we really are as an indigenous people. They will push and back anything that is about that. And it's no different today. Because those people who I mentioned, your Umar Johnsons, your Tariq Nasheeds and all of them, they pushing that black agenda and saying this is our culture. And they making up this lie that, the Africans came over here and they mixed in with the Indian people here, and then we became delineated and became a whole nother group of people. That is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Tariq Nasheed, you had said before that there's so-called Africans who came here, a very small number of those people came into America, very small. They stopped bringing them here in 1808. And you even was saying at one point in time, before you was on the African thing, then you went into the, you kind of tried to say that our people was indigenous. You kind of tried to start telling the truth, but I guess whoever talked to you, whoever spoke to you, whatever you decided to do, you decided to switch gears and start going back into this, pseudo-African connection that our people do not have with Africa. We are indigenous to America. Stop believing that the American Indians look like Asians or the people or Caucasians like they're trying to pass themselves off to be. You see, those are Native Americans. We are American Indians. And the whole goal was to get us to go away from our American indigenous Indian heritage. The whole thing was to get us to go away from that, to leave that alone, to leave our heritage and culture alone, because we have a extensive history in this society as American Indians, going back even further as the Mayans, as the Olmecs, as the Aztec, as the Inca. That's who we are. We have no connection. We have no connection with Africa. We didn't come from any place else. We are from here. We are indigenous to America. We are not black people. That is a thing. That was a term that was made up by racist Caucasians to draw a line between us, the indigenous people, and the European immigrants who were coming here. Now, when I heard Tariq Nasheed talking about we black-skinned people, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Y'all sit up here and listen to this. That is the stupidest thing I heard. Does my skin look black? You can look at the tattoos on my arms. Those were done in black ink. Now, it clearly does not blend with my skin. So why would I call myself a black person? Why? How can you trust somebody who's telling you something that's not even real, telling you that your skin is black? How do you trust somebody like that to tell you anything after that? And like I said, I like some of the stuff Tariq Nasheed say when he's talking about what's going on in the news and things like that. And just like Jason Black, but you can't totally trust these people because they lying to our people. They deceiving our people. They part of the deception. This is an ongoing deception that has been launched by these racist Caucasians, going back to the ones who was doing blackface and doing the stupid Birth of a Nation movies where they showing our people as the most terrible and terrible, degenerate people on the planet. We raping in these films. They say we raping white women and all this other nonsense, making up lies, lie upon lie, making us into monsters. And that still sticks to this day. That's why I'm speaking on it in 2024, because we're still suffering from that foolishness today. We're still suffering from that stereotypical BS today. So that's why I had to bring that up. That's why I had to mention that in 2024. That's why I had to point out the mental illness of these racist Caucasians who are, you got to be mentally ill. You can't claim to hate a people. That don't even make sense. How do you claim to hate a people and claim you are superior to a people when you make your living off of impersonating the people? Al Jolson, the jazz, and then I watched some of that movie, and I'm like, you trying to do an impression of us, and he sound whack as hell. Al Jolson, some untalented Caucasian white male, trying to sound like a so-called black man, an American indigenous man, putting that, and to be honest with you, you look better in the blackface. A lot of when you Caucasian do dark blackface or whatever, some of y'all was putting brown on your face. You actually look better than with the makeup on than you do with your pale pasty ass skin and your dog fur that you call hair. You actually look better when you're trying to be us. Shout out to Rachel Dolezal, right? Shout out to Robert Downey Jr. in Tropical Thunder. You look better when you're trying to be us, and you know it. That's why y'all was doing that when y'all came into the 20th century. Y'all was trying to be the copper tone people. You see how they were trying to switch off? They were trying to make us they took us from we was the copper colored people. Then they took off the copper, and then we became colored people. Then we became the Negroes, and then which is Spanish for black. And then we became black people. And they didn't do that till about the 60s. Because it took them a long time to get us to embrace black. But trust and know that these people who you think were for us, the Black Panthers, they weren't for us, man. Not at all. The Black Panthers were sellouts, man. That's why you see a lot of them guys, a lot of these people that's supposed to have been so-called pro-black, Black Panthers for our people. You see a lot of these people, the people that got killed, those are the people who didn't know. Like your Fred Hampton, those are the people who were sincere, who thought that the whole Black Panther thing was about raising our people. Those were the people that were sincere. Fred Hampton was sincere. That's why he lost his life at 21 years old. The police killed him, and his son is still around today. You know, it's good that he was able to, you know, duplicate himself, and his seed is still here. But I'm pretty sure Fred Hampton Jr. could tell you that all the people that was in the Black Panther Party, the people that got political jobs now, you know, the people that got political jobs now, or 10 years at colleges like Angela Davis, all them people are sellouts, man. All them people sold out to the beast, allegedly. I always got to cover myself and say allegedly, but not so, you know. Those are sellouts. These are the people who wanted to integrate in with the Caucasians, mix their seed with them. Because that's what a lot of the Black Panthers was doing anyway. You was laying up with white girls. Y'all was laying up with a lot of P. Newton was laying up with Jane Fonda, allegedly. And all the Caucasians running around. Y'all was all in that free love stuff. But it was an agenda for those people. Those people were set up, man. Those groups, the Black Panthers, they were set up, man. They were set up to push Pan-Africanism and pro-blackness, something that we not to us, but our grandmothers and them were saying, oh no, baby, we American Indian, we bronze copper colored people. You had several sections in America from California to Chicago called Bronzeville. You had Bronzeville in those sections and that was what we called our people. It wasn't, you know, Bronzeville because of our bronze skin, our bronze copper colored skin. It looks like a penny. In fact, Abraham Lincoln was put on the penny and they turned his head opposite the other presidents because they hated him for the fact that he, quote unquote, supposedly freed the bronze copper colored indigenous people who later became known as black people or African Americans. So again, I'm going to say this. Don't be offended. Don't be offended by these racist Caucasians who still pushing blackface or sitting around calling us niggers and all this other nonsense. Know that niggar, Niggar, because that's originally how it was said. It was originally, and they replaced it with an E. You know, like the whole thing, A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes, well, how's that thing go? Where they would replace certain letters with other letters within I forgot that system go and whatnot, and they A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. I forget what that is. But y'all know what I'm talking about. All right? So you can't trust these people who are still pushing blackness, because if our people would have left blackness a long time ago, we wouldn't be offended by stupid stuff like this today. We still wouldn't be offended by people, black this and the black face. And the black. Like today, they'll get you all bent out of shape if somebody show up in blackface or so-called black all over their face or whatnot. Or again, you can't really hate us if you sitting up here putting that crap on your face, putting this shit on your face for hours, putting black shoe polish on your face. That takes time. Again, who does that? Who puts black makeup on their face for people you don't like to make fun of? You mentally ill. You are mentally ill. You see? You couldn't perform. Al Jolson couldn't perform as his white self, obviously. He couldn't perform as his white self because he would have just been another regular white face. So he went and put some black shit on his face. He looked like a total idiot. Just like he looked like a total idiot. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's insane. He looks mentally off. I seen somebody walking like that with that stuff on their face and whatnot. I'm gonna move away from them, or I'm gonna be ready to put a cap in them, because I'm like, something wrong with you. Don't come near me. Something wrong with you. Off. So look at these racist Caucasians as what they are: sad, pathetic, mentally ill, degenerate people. This is why these people dying out today. That's a judgment for people who are not mentally stable. See, the judgment for people who are mentally ill, they eventually die out over time. You do know that. There is a judgment for those who are mentally ill, who are mentally insane. See, in a world where we are supposed to be evolving mentally, there's no room for people who are not evolving mentally, who are not evolving and growing mentally, because they want to make it seem like it's our problem or that we should see this as a problem for how they think about us. Listen, we ain't got to bear the brunt of their mental illness, man. We ain't got to bear the brunt of that, nor do we got to be sitting up here giving energy to and getting bent out of shape over some BS that they making up. Oh, you black people, listen, you black, there ain't no black people. There's no such thing as black people. The darkest people, if you're talking about some of your Africans in Africa who burnt black from the sun, that's different. You talking about them, but they're not even genuinely black. The darkest people you want to see is really, really dark bronze skin. Hell, I done seen it's East Indians who black with straight hair, who got black skin. You could call them black. The East Indians, and in fact, I call them the black people. They're not Indians. They're Hindus. I don't want to associate the word Indian with them because they're not Indians. They're Hindus. But that's another thing. They're really the black people. They would really be considered the opposite of Caucasian whites. They would be considered that. Not us. They would be considered that. They would be considered the opposite of white people. But see, again, this has nothing to do with skin color. This is dealing with class. A class system that is put in place by racist Caucasians. You see? And you have, obviously, a bunch of sellouts who are helping to maintain this racial classification by programming us into believing that our skin is black. How stupid do you look calling a so-called light-skinned person, a black person? How stupid do you look in classifying them as black? Or even classifying me as black? My skin is not black. I don't claim black on anything. I'm American Indian. I know where my people come from. Tariq Nasheed, you claim to know your heritage and whatnot. So when you said, oh, I got Indian in me, so then what's the other part of you? You obviously claim an African then. So then how do you get bent out of shape when you talk about, oh, we our own class, we not African? That sounds dumb. You saying you descend from Africa, and you say, like Umar, they all say that, all life started in Africa, which is a lie. That's just some theory y'all got from some racist Caucasians who said all life started in Africa with no proof whatsoever. They just saying stuff with no real proof. When they said that was just a theory that all life started in Africa and that all of our people come from Africa. And if they believe all life started in Africa, then why ain't white people calling themselves African? You see? You gotta see the BS for what it is, man. People getting paid to promote ignorance to our people. People get paid to promote ignorance to our people. They got an agenda. Certain people got an agenda, and their agenda is just basically get paid however they can. People are going to approach people and get us to try and conceal the truth. Dane Calloway even brought that up, man. Shout out to Dane Calloway. Shout out to Dane Calloway. He even brought that up. Now you notice Tariq Nasheed was getting at Dane Calloway and trying to diss Dane Calloway. He made up some character, some cartoon called Lane Hella Gay. And I'm like, why are you calling the man hella gay and calling him lame because he's telling the truth and you not? And again, I understand, Tariq Nasheed, you trying to really just make money off the foundational Black American thing. That's all it really is. That's just a way for you to make money. I don't even see you as a con man. I see you more as a hustler. Even though Taharka Bey keep calling you a con man, I don't see you as a con man because you do make documentaries. You do sell people stuff. So I look at you more as a hustler than a con man, to be honest with you. But you hustling backwards, bro. You gonna keep pushing blackness to our people. And again, you linked in obviously with these people. You was wearing the pink. We already know what that pink is about. Shout out, go to my MENTELLECT Patreon. I tell y'all what that pink is about that you see these Negroes showing up in. Shout out to your boy Cat Williams. He got on the pink too. Fat Joe had on the pink. These Negroes, did all them niggas have on pink? Tariq Nasheed, Umar, your boy Umar, Mr. Pro-Black, King Kong consciousness. He had on a pink dashiki. These are all boule coons, man. This is the new class of boule coons, man. That's all they really are. They boule, man. They boule coons. Anybody that's telling our people we come from someplace other than America, don't trust them, man. They sold out, man. Anybody that's telling our people that our skin is black, don't trust them, man. Anybody that's sitting up here still putting on blackface, these Caucasian, racist Caucasian, they're mentally ill, man. They got some mental illness going on with them. But that's all I got to say. Let me move on to some other stuff. Because it's been a long time coming, man. It's been a long time coming. And, you know, like I said, I had to get this off. I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. You know I don't get a lot of views and whatnot. Shout out to YouTube. I know YouTube, they don't like my message, or they don't watch it. And, you know, they make sure I don't really get no views, because I'm the real. I say it myself. I'm the realest person you ever gonna see on YouTube, man. I'm the realest person you ever want to see on YouTube. Straight up, I'm the realest person you ever want to see on YouTube, bar none. Because I don't have no image to uphold. Hell, you see me, I hide my face. I mean, y'all know how I look. But I pretty much cover my face, man. Handsome man that I am, that I've been told I am. I cover my face, man, because I'm not trying to be popular. I'm trying to make a connection, a mental connection with my people, to raise my people up. All right? So, if you want to really see the raw and uncut stuff, go on my MENTELLECT Patreon page. Go on the MENTELLECT Patreon page. Subscribe to MENTELLECT Patreon. That's how you can support me. You ain't gotta really. I don't do this for that YouTube monetization money. I know a lot of people. No disrespect to those people who depend on that. I wouldn't mind a check from YouTube. But I already know realistically they ain't gonna give it to me, because I'm telling too much truth, man. I speak too much real. I speak too real. I can't be fake and phony. I can't sit here and lie to my people and tell them, yeah, we black-skinned people, and see, our culture is blackness. What? We foundational black Americans. We come from blackness. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Somebody should ask Tariq Nasheed, when you get a chance, if you ever call on this thing, ask him, who called us black people? Who called us black people for it? Did we call ourselves black people? I used to always say this to the Pan-Africanists, like the Umars and the people. Who called us African? Who called us black people? Did we decide to call ourselves African and black people? And if they say, yeah, then point to the first person that called us African and black people. Point to them, please. Because if you can't show me who was calling us black people, if you got to break down and concede that the people that started calling us blacks and Africans are really Caucasians, then I don't want to hear nothing about the system of white supremacy no more. Now, because you support the system of white supremacy, the system, the so-called system of white supremacy that Tariq Nasheed and all these people talk about, they're the ones that call us black people as a derogatory slander on us. They called us, the American Indians, black people. We were persona non grata. They wanted to take our place. They wanted to take our place. They wanted to take our place. Okay? So, let me go into this next one. What is the fascination with bronze people's hair? I heard Tariq Nasheed talking about this too, about how, and this last thing about how white people love to rub their hands in our head of these races. And they show that wherever our people go, where they go to, for some strange reason, our hair fascinates everybody. And I said the reason why our hair fascinates everybody, because we're the only people on the planet with real hair. I said this before, I'm going to say this again. You know why the white man and these Caucasian, racist Caucasian, I'm not going to say all white people, the racist ones, you know why they like to rub our head or talk about how nappy our head is or how crazy or whatever? You know why they like talking like that? Because we actually have hair. We actually have hair. They don't have hair. That's fur. Your humans have fur. Your human race is your Caucasians, your Asians, your East Indians, your Arab, you know, the people with the straight hair, that's fur. That's not real hair. So because they don't know what animal fur feels like, Hell, when they love animals, they love the dog. They got the same hair as dogs. They got the same hair as monkeys. And again, I'm not being racist. It's reality. They said it themselves. The humans are nothing but a race of animals. Yet they own Caucasian scientists said this. So when they see our people who don't have that type of fur, we ain't got fur going out of our head like them. We actually have real hair that denotes something higher, something greater, something that's fourth dimensional. Because I did say, again, I'm going to repeat this always in case people try to go behind me and say, well, you know, if you calling them human, then what are we? We are a totally different species. We're a totally different race. We're not part of the human race. We are the almond race. A.H.M.E.N., the almond race. You got the human race over there, which is your Caucasians, your Asians, your East Indians, your Hindus. And I won't call them East Indians, they're not Indians. Your Hindus, your Caucasians, your Asians. Again, those are your human race. Those are your created people on earth who were created by the almond race who came from the fourth dimensional space into this three-dimensional space. Because you know, everything in existence exists within dimensions. Time, space, everything. So we come from a different time and a different space. That's why we don't look like nobody here. This is why our hair, our skin, our genotype, phenotype look different, because we are actually a different race. That's why you have something called racism here. I've said this before, but I was going to double down on this. I'm the first one to stand up and say in the 21st century that we are actually a whole nother race separate from the human race. We are the almond race. We are the Amen race, A.H.M.E.N. That's not to be confused with the almond in ancient Egypt, because again, I'm going to break down how you know almond did not start in Egypt. That is actually the reality of a race of people who are falsely being called black. Because again, you got to ask yourself, if we was really part of the human race, then why, and there's only one race and we all part of the human race, then why is everybody in the human race racist against us? Why is everybody from the Caucasians to the Asians to the East Indians, why do they end up having a problem with us? I'm not saying all. I'm not saying they all racist, but they acknowledge that there's a difference in race. They don't say we all, they'll say, well, we all the human, but they don't really believe that. You can clearly see that we're not part of the human race. You can clearly see that we're a totally different species, which explains everything. Again, we need clarity, man. We don't need people lying to us, telling us, pissing on our heads and telling us it's raining. We need clarity. Why are we discriminated against? Why are we the ones that's talked down on? Why are people making blackface and talking about our hair and degrading us? Because we are a different race, a different species altogether, separate from the human race. We was here before they were. In fact, we created them. They are an artificial race of beings. We are the only real natural beings on earth. The almond race, separate from the human race. Yes, I said it. The first one is saying, I don't care who don't like it. I don't care, oh, this brother sound crazy. I don't care. I don't care. Again, I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing this to be like, I'm not doing this to be popular with the people like other people do. I'm not doing this for a YouTube check. I'm not doing this for clout. So I can speak freely. And when you can speak freely, you can speak logically, rationally. Because those of you who listen to me, you know what I'm saying is true. You know what I'm saying is true. You can clearly see we are not part of the human race. We are our own separate species. Even though a lot of y'all try to act like human beings, you try to act like them, and that's not a big compliment. Acting like a human, because you see how the humans are. These humans are mentally fragile. They are emotionally unstable. They are degenerates, but you got some good humans. You got some good, useful humans. But for the most part, when they at their worst, oh boy, they at their worst. But we have to be better than that, because as the almond race, we are a higher race of beings. We are a higher race of beings. We have this dominant genetics. We have these dominant genetics. We have these dominant genotype and phenotype, beautiful genotype, beautiful bronze, copper colored skin, right? Beautiful woolly hair. You see, that's who we are. And a lot of people hate us for that. A lot of people are jealous. We don't have all these mental and physical infirmities like these humans. And yeah, you damn right refer to these humans, the Caucasians, the Asians, the East Indians, they're humans, man. They got the animal genetic in them. That's why they age so fast. You ever notice with these Asians, these Caucasians, they age really fast and hard. And they get mad at us because we for the most part, we take care of ourselves. They can take care of themselves and they still turn into crap. Because again, that's that animal genetic. And remember, animals age faster than, than animals, your dogs, your cats, they age fast. That's how the humans are, because they are nothing but a species of animal. They got animal genetic in them. That's why they got fur coming out of their heads. That's reality. That's reality. And we're moving on. So the fascination they have with our head is that we are actually the ones who have real head. And they're blown away by the fact that we have real head. And they don't. So let me touch on the rest of this stuff. I got a few things to touch. I'm going to be here until I get off all the stuff I wanted to say, because it's been a minute. And again, I apologize for being late, but when you have children, things like that happen. Is the president, another topic about the presidency, because now we're about to go through, I think the elections is going to be soon, or just the elections next year, whenever they come in, when we're going through the elections and whatnot, we have to be mindful about what the elections really are. First and foremost, when I said our vote don't count, it doesn't. And, your politicians are hired. They are hired and they're selected long before they're put out to the public for you to vote for them. They are hired by corporations. Corporations run the society. Corporations have always run the society. The United States is a corporation. The United States is a corporation that has shareholders. Your huge corporations are shareholders in this thing called the United States of America. And these huge corporations, control the government. They control the government. They decide who the politicians are going to be. The people don't. They select these people. They groom these people. And they hire these people, and they have to follow a certain code of conduct before you are put out in front of the public. And then they give these sham elections, which makes you think that, oh, I'm voting for this person, or I'm voting for that person, I'm voting for this person. And you start thinking the president got power. The president don't have no power. The corporations have the power. I remember when Michael Moore showed you that thing with Ronald Reagan, where Ronald Reagan was making a speech, and you had this guy who was part of some big corporation. He told Ronald Reagan to hurry up, speed it up, and Ronald Reagan's like, okay. Why? How is it that a guy who's on high ranks of a corporate, I don't know if he was the head of the corporation, I forget what that was. It was in the Michael Moore film. How is it that a corporate person is able to tell the president to hurry up? Because that's who runs this country. That's who distributes the money, right? This is who selects the people. Like I said, y'all think y'all voted for Barack. Y'all didn't even know who the hell Barack Obama was before Barack Obama was selected and groomed by these people and put out for you to vote for. Because they knew y'all Negroes would go and vote for Barack Obama because you saw half black, so-called blackface, a half blackface anyway, a African. They already put him out this. Listen, it don't matter who you vote for. It's all the corporation. The corporation controls who you're voting for. They choose. In other words, nobody, listen, you're not going to get somebody that, like, let's say people say, oh, well, we're going to get our own politician and put money behind him and put him in office. It don't work like that. They have certain channels and doors that close to you that are not open. You're not going to, because that's how it's supposed to be. The people are supposed to get their own elected officials and decide, we're going to put money behind you and make you the president. That's how it's supposed to be. But that's not how it is. You've never seen a president or a politician or any of these people just come up from the grassroots and decide they're going to get in some office. They can say, oh, I'm going to run. They'll let you run. They'll let you run, but they're not going to let you win. And how they not let you win is because now they tell you it takes money to be the president. It takes money to run campaigns. It takes money to do this, that, and the third. There's no such thing as a grassroots president, because if there really was a such thing as democracy and the people picking their elected officials, then you are supposed to be able to get a grassroots candidate and put him in office yourself as the people. It don't work like that. Whether it's Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Kennedy, it's all chose by the corporation. The corporation called the United States. They're just the president. And like in any corporation, you have a president, but the president is elected or selected by the board of directors. They are selecting the president. Who is the board of directors of the United States Corporation? That's where the power is. Who is the chairman of the board of the United States Corporation? Because this is a corporation, not a country. It's a corporation fronting as a country. And you people are considered consumers, not citizens. Because citizen and consumer, it's the same thing. They consider you citizens, aka consumers. And the corporation needs to keep the consumers/citizens in check. So what they do is they give you these politicians who you think are operating in your best interest, and they're not. They're operating in the interest of the corporation. They're doing what they're being told to do. They're pushing the policies that they're being told. Their policies are produced by corporations. Policies are produced by corporations. Your votes don't count. If you didn't vote for anybody, they're going to still elect the president. Has nothing to do with you. Your votes don't count. The corporation, the United States corporation, selects the president and puts them in your face, and they do this little sham election thing. All right, now here you guys go. Here's who you're gonna. Here go your choices right here. If I pick out your choices and tell you this is your choices, did you really have a choice? If I pick out your choices ahead of time for you, it's not like you're gonna say, no, I don't want one. I don't want either one. We're gonna find our own politician to run. That's not how it works. You're not gonna get on no ballot. They make sure that, because if the people could actually elect a politician that was going to do for them, they would stop the elections. This country would stop elections altogether if that really worked like that. It don't work like that. So, I mean, vote if you want to. I advise against to do what you, whatever. The president is hired. That's a hired position. He's hired by the corporation known as the United States to be a liaison between the consumers and the corporation. The president is hired to be a liaison between the citizens, aka / consumers, and the corporation. Right? You're not supposed to know how the inner workings of the corporation works. And they put your policy officers with your police officers, your politician. Notice the word poly. Politician, police officers, all policy. Corporations make up policies. Clear on that? All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, we're moving on. All right. And I'm not even into politics, and I know how it works. You know, see, it don't take a rocket scientist to know that your votes don't count. It's just really, they just want you to vote as a way to participate in the process, so that they basically just checking your temperature, like how they get black people to get up here and vote for nothing. You go and vote for the Democratic Party, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. The same way the Republicans ain't gonna do nothing for you, because number one, you're the American Indians, the American indigenous people. And the corporation is not trying to uplift the American indigenous people. They're not. They want you with nothing. They want the indigenous people with nothing, and they want the immigrants and the children of the immigrants with everything. You see, they want the indigenous people with nothing. That's how that works. Right? That's how that works. Huh? Okay, I'm going to wrap it up soon. I want to touch all these things. My wife says 10:15. I'm gonna do my live cast at my other cast at 11. Why is the world been turned into content creators on YouTube? Why are we now watching YouTube instead of TV? Why is the world being made open for content creators? Because they don't ran out of ideas. They don't ran out of ideas in Hollywood. They basically recycling the same ideas. They ran out. So you know what they said? Hey, why don't you be your own entertainment? So that's why you start to see a lot of these podcasts and shows pop up. So they figured a way to monetize onto podcasts because they don't run out of ideas. So since they don't run out of ideas and people don't want to keep seeing the same old situation comedies, because I don't know when the last time I don't watch TV, to be honest with you. I don't know when the last time I watched. I'm tired of TV. I watch YouTube. YouTube is the new TV. And the content creators are the new entertainment. The content creators. I see a lot of stuff on YouTube that he's like, that was smart. I'll say that was smart for them to turn the actual consumers into content creators and pay them to just entertain. That was smart because they don't run out of ideas. You see, they don't run out of ideas. So that's why they done turned the world into content creators. Anybody go up and set up a YouTube channel and entertain. See, I don't do that. I come here and I teach my people. You see, if I was up here and, black first and black this and blackity black and all that, then I would be part of the entertainment world. But since I'm not with that like black talk, I'm relegated to getting 1,000 views, 1,500 views, maybe. When I said the thing about Cat Williams, when I did the cast cast ago about Cat Williams, I got 2,000 views. That was some of my biggest views right there. Because YouTube knows how to shadow ban your channel, make sure that nobody see your channel. They'll let you put up stuff because they know there's some interest in it, but they know how to keep your channel limited. And they also know how to push certain channels in your face. Like I'm seeing all these black gay channels pop up with these black males who are in relationship with other black males and whatnot because they're trying to push that agenda of black males being pet sodomites now. So that's the thing they're trying to push. They're trying to push black male sodomy. You see that? So you'll see all these type of casts pop up now. I didn't ask for that in my damn description. I don't want to see that. But they're gonna push it in your face anyway, like how they do on these shows like Power and everything else. 50 say he ain't got no control over his show. These Caucasians tell him what's gonna be on the show, or he ain't gonna have no show. They're the ones writing and telling him that two guys, two niggas gonna be kissing in this next scene. All right? 50 Cent can't say nothing about that. He ain't gonna have no show. He can't say, come on, man, what's that gay stuff? He can't say that. He ain't gonna have no show. Next, the second class mentality of black people. You see, I had to address that because black people, this is why I had to leave the black race behind. I had to leave that whole black thing behind. I'm not going to sit up here and think that anybody's better than me. I'm not going to sit up here and put nobody. See, when you accept that you black, you got to put white people over you. Why you think people like Tariq Nasheed keep talking the system of white supremacy and the dominant society? Look, man, sometimes when you say that to Tariq Nasheed, it's almost like you sucking off the white community, man. You sucking them off, man. Don't give them that title of white supremacy. Don't give them that title of the dominant society. There's no dominant society. How you gonna say, make that make sense? At 1 minute you're saying that these people are dying out and that they're dying out, that their numbers are dwindling. But then how are they still a dominant society? And our numbers are climbing, but yet we still so-called minority. They the dominant society and system of white supremacy. No, I said, nah, man. The things that you're calling them for supreme for is not supreme at all. It's degenerate. The behavior, all forms of racist behavior is degenerate behavior. I don't consider myself a racist, and I'm not racist. I don't like racist people who try, and again, you don't have to like anybody, but you also don't have to disrespect anybody or bother anybody. You can have your own thoughts, but leave people alone. My problem is when you start bothering people because you can't control your mental illness, your racism, aka your mental illness. When you can't control your mental illness, because again, you ain't got to like nobody. I don't like a lot of people. I don't like racist white people. I don't like racist people, period. Because, and it's not about like, I'm not even going to say that. I don't like when you get out of it. You can be who you want. You can say and believe how you want. You're free to believe whatever you want and think how you want to think. But the minute you start trying to bother people, the minute you start trying to harass and terrorize people because you can't control your mental illness, that's a problem. Those people need to be taken off the planet. Unalived. Unalived. We have to be supreme Americans about that. Because we are the supreme Americans, meaning the American Indian people, the original Americans, us, the indigenous people. We have to see ourselves, because again, the word American comes from us. The word America comes from us. It don't come from no Caucasian people. Don't come from no America over disputes. That's a lie. The supreme American is us today. All right? I talked about the true origin of racist blackface. Again, that was a copy of the trope off of the American indigenous statues, where you see it with dark skin and red lips. That comes from there. Or people sitting on the porch eating watermelon and stuff like that. So, man, again, I don't understand what's funny about people eating watermelon or eating chicken. What's funny about that? People eat food. What's funny about that? That's just people who mentally ill, who just trying to make fun of anything. This is why black people accept abuse and disrespect in the society, because you've been programmed as second-class citizens to accept abuse and disrespect in the society. You're programmed to play victims. Like when y'all run into problems with anybody, racists, Arabs, Caucasians, whoever, and they threatening your life, man, listen, man, don't be calling no goddamn police, because if they not going to help you, you got to be the one to help yourself, if you know what I mean. You got to help yourself. You ain't got to be no goddamn victims for mentally ill people. F that. You don't have to be no victim for mentally ill people. The same way they believe in their right to bear arms and protect themselves, you got a natural right to do the same damn thing. You ain't got to sit up here and take no abuse or wait for some police to do nothing for you. Let these people keep harassing you. You do what you got to do and worry about the consequences later. If there are any. Ain't nobody supposed to be calling to a call. I'm going through all these things. I had a lot of things on my mind, man. I hate when black people talk, we got to call the police. Why they ain't giving us no protection under the law? They ain't trying to give you no protection under the law. You are the indigenous people. The law is against you, not for you. The law is against you as the American Indian. No matter whether you call yourself black people, Negroes, African Americans, they ain't trying to help you. They know who you are. They know who you are. They know you the real American Indians, and this country is always going to have beef with the American Indians, not the Native Americans, not the fake Native Americans, the so-called Native Americans, the real American Indians. See, the problem is y'all still here. That's the problem. They wanted y'all gone a long time ago. All right? I'm about to wrap this up. I think I done touched everything pretty much. I just had to jump on here and get this off. Let me see. Oh. Why do black people have leaders that have never made total sense? Why do black people have leaders that have never made total sense? Because, again, when you operating under blackness, that is a foundation for nonsensical things. Again, when you're operating under this idea that you're black, then that's the foundation for all nonsensical things. Because, first of all, you're trying to convince a people that their skin color is something that it's not. You're trying to convince a people that this terminology of black is something other than what it really is, which is nothing but a social and political status made up by racist Caucasians who run the society. They call us black people. So if you're not going to say that, if you're not going to say that we the real American Indians and that we are indigenous to this land, and we didn't come from no damn Africa on those slave ships packed like sardines, that's a lie. A bold-faced lie, then again, you can't really speak to the reality of who we are as a people. You can't speak to that. I'm sorry, you can't. I speak to that because I started off my foundation by saying, well, I'm not part of the black race. I'm an American Indian. I gotta order me some feathered head crowns because, I don't want to be in some feathered hair crowns. Shout out to you Caucasians who are making these the mood company, you guys making these, y'all got some good stuff. I ain't smoking on it, but y'all got some, I hear y'all got some good stuff. I'm going to try these mood people out. I just want to make sure I touch on everything before I get out of here, before I do the next one. Because I got to do my live. I got to do my live. I don't think there's no questions, and, let me see. I did that already. I did that. Okay. I'm going to close out. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm about to get ready for my live. I'm going to have to do that tonight at 11. For my people, my Monday through Saturday live I do for a couple of hours, where I just speak on one specific topic. I just wanted to just do a barnstorm and just hit all the things I have on my mind, because I come real with the logical perspective all the time. So that's it. Subscribe to I'm gonna close out the name of Amen by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. Continuously invoke the name and the image of the true Lord of illumination. The true Lord, not God, not the God of this world, but the true Lord of illumination. Amen. Invoke that name continuously. Move forward as a continuous people, American indigenous people, American Indian people. Hail Amen. Closing out in the name of Amen by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue forward forever. Subscribe to my subscribe to this channel, High and Mighty Talks. Share it. Subscribe to MENTELLECT Patreon. Become a subscriber. Only $15 a month to hear the most realist and raw, uncut things that I can't say on YouTube. Subscribe to my MENTELLECT Women's channel. We almost finished fixing the problems. Shout out to that. We're almost done. We'll be done by the night. Trust me. We'll be having new cast up. I've been saying that, but I've been so busy. Subscribe to the Ethnic American channel on YouTube with Sister A.R.C. Subscribe to my brother's page. I forget that. I'll get back to you, Enrique Janier. Inbox me your page and whatnot. I forget what that is. He just started, Brother Janier. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. Other than good night, I want to close out with this good music. I'm loving this good music. Let me close out this good music by oh, you know what? I'm everybody that know me, they know I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of house music. I'm a huge fan of house music. And I've been playing a lot of house music on my stuff. I'm gonna be playing some tonight. I gotta watch like a lot of this stuff. But I found out because I like to open up with music. I like to close with music. I'm a house head. I love house music. House music is one of the music that we produce. House, jazz, blues, and whatnot. Shout out to Louis Vega. He obviously tapped into a lot of our music, our American indigenous music. Again, I don't like when people call our music African music, because it's not African music, it's American Indian music. Hip hop, jazz, R&B, blues, and all that stuff is American Indian music. You see, because we are the American indigenous people, we are the American Indians. We have our own culture as American Indians. Blues, jazz, again, the face of American Indians is bronze, copper-colored people. This is the face of the American Indians. We got our own. So, I'm going to close out. Put him in the description. This is Louis Vega, Elevator, going up and closing out with that. Good night.
Louis Vega. Our next guest is performing on the program for the first time, singing our brand new
tune. Rock out to that.
Please welcome the incomparable Monique Bingham.
Fair use.
What would you done? Should come with a disclaimer, so that no one ever falls.
Shout out to Monique Bingham. I'm a fan of her music now. Monique Bingham. She's singing this song. Sister Monique Bingham.
Excuse me, all the time. She's